guys, True Knight here. We are at Ghost Gaming with Jose Villigren. This is the guy that I tell you guys about in my videos. He's the captain of Team Straw Hats. Anyway, what did you do this weekend, Jose?
Went to Omaha, Nebraska for the World Qualifier Regionals, and got top 8, 8th place.
8th place. How many players?
240.
240. How many do you guess were playing Snake Eye Fire?
Never you.
200 more than should have been.
All right. And you said you did it with Dinomorphia.
Yep. Tier 0 format, you gotta play the best Tier 0 deck.
Congrats on the top 8, sir.
Thank you.
Let's get right into the profile, man.
All right, so start off. Full lineup of Dinomorphia monsters in the main deck. Got the 3 Teresia, 3 Diplos.
Okay.
Teresia, best card is the one you want to see in your hand. Sets any Dinomorphia trap card straight from your deck. Can't be Ash, they can only Veiler Imperm. And then Diplos, the Foolish Burial effect did come up every now and then. Sometimes I had to Foolish a Teresia after I Impermed. Get to bring her right back, get her effect to set myself up for the next turn.
Okay.
I did end up dropping all the bricks from my deck. So Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Ghost Bell, Ghost Mourner. Only hand trap I played, 3-Dimension Shifter.
Most pivotal hand trap of the format.
Only hand trap you need this format. It does the most, it gets you the most advantage. Against the right deck, gives you 2 free turns.
Woo-wee.
And then my last almost hand trap, Wannabe, also came up. During the end phase, I get to excavate cards from the top of my deck equal to my opponent's unused spell and trap zones and just set a free trap.
How many players asked to read that card?
So many players asked to read this card. I had 3 that tried to Ash.
Okay.
Then that's it for monster count.
Okay.
Pretty small. Spell count is smaller. 3 dualities.
And they're common.
I thought about
the rarity question.
I tried to pick up holographics, but the only holos I found at the event were ultimate rares, and they were a little outside of budget.
Yeah.
Little bit too much.
Okay.
That's it for my spell count.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the rest of the deck, of course, is going to be all pink. Gotta love it.
Good Lord. Okay.
Starting with the Dinomorphia traps, I played the 3 Frenzy. Best Dinomorphia trap card you have in the deck. Gets you your fusion monster using 1 from deck, 1 from extra deck. Pays half your life points. Does everything you need it to. 3 Dinomorphia Domain, the other fusion trap. This one, same thing, it just helps you get your monsters. And my only other 3 of as far as Dinomorphia cards, Dinomorphia Intact. Basically a Solemn Strike, pay half your life points while you have a Dinomorphia card face up on field. Negate any monster effect. And then if you would take battle damage, you can banish it from grave to mitigate 1 damage. What I like about this card is it does not specify Dinomorphia monster. So I Frenzy, they Ash, I Intact. And then all damage for the rest of the turn after activation just becomes half my life points. So if I'm at 4,000 and you attack with a 100 attack monster, I take 2,000 damage. But if you attack with a 20,000 attack monster, I still take 2,000 damage. So the later I get into the game, the less damage it does.
I feel like Tempai Dragon is not going to have very much fun against this deck. Okay.
Then the last Dinomorphia card I played, Dinomorphia Alert. Pay half my life, lets me revive any number of Dinomorphia monsters from my graveyard as long as their total combined levels is 8 or less. Basically, it brings back 1 fusion or both small ones. Then the non-Dinomorphia cards I played, 3 Soul of the Supreme King Zark. This card is amazing. I think I resolved this card every single match I had at least once. 3 Imperm, the only other hand trap I play. Does not trigger Talents, does not trigger Thrust. It's a beautiful thing.
True.
Then for answers, 2 Solemn Judgment, 2 Iron Thunder. Combined with the Dinomorphia Intact, that basically gives you counter trap coverage for almost any play your opponent can do.
Good luck, .deck.
Then in case I'm going second, I did decide to main deck 2 evenly matched.
Nice, okay.
I was going to play it at 3, but if I went first, I didn't want to break into it. So I decided 2 was a good number, especially because 2 Trap Trick.
Oh.
So with this, I am playing 5 copies of my Dinomorphia Fusions, 5 copies of Supreme King, 4 evenly matched.
Wow.
And then the last card in my main deck, best card in my deck, Ferret Flame.
Oh my lord, this card's back.
So many people asked to read this card. Essentially, if the combined attack of all the face-up monsters my opponent controls is higher than my life points, I can make them shuffle face-up monsters they control back into the deck until their total combined attack is equal to or less than my life points.
Oh my gosh.
I ended up activating this card so many times against high attack monster decks such as a Centurion, such as Manadium, and they picked it up because it means if your monster's unaffected, it doesn't matter, it's leaving.
So 40 card main?
40 card main deck, or I think 41 card main deck.
You've always got to be a 41.
Always got to be an odd number, it's lucky.
I like it. What was a pivotal moment you remember in this tournament?
The most pivotal moment I remember, I guess would be against a Snake Eye player. He established his entire board, had the negates, essentially had everything he needed for follow-up. He had the negates, he's getting ready to pop Princess, he's got the SP, and I just happened to not do anything. I set 5 pass.
That means you did everything?
I did everything I had to against that matchup. Then during his turn, I just activate my Ferret Flames. He says, okay, that's fine. I'm only shuffling back 1 monster. Then I'm like, all right, chain Dinomorphia fusion card to fuse. I go down to 4,000. He says, I'll allow that. I chain a second one to fuse. He says, that's fine. He tries to negate it with the Barone. Then I'm like, Dinomorphia intact. Now I get just low enough to wipe his entire board with the 1 Ferret Flames. He watched his whole board disappear right before his eyes. It was beautiful.
It's fun to watch Snake Eye squirm.
Fun to watch Snake Eyes squirm. Best feeling in the game right now.
Hold on to it.
And then,
this coming April 1st.
oh yeah. Extra deck, pretty standard. 3 Dinomorphia Rexgerm, 2 Kentragina, 2 Stealth Purge. I feel like this was just the right amount of Dinomorphias to play. With the Frenzy, I always send the Stealth Purge first to make Kentragina. Then I send the second one to make the Rexgerm. Stealth Purge did come up. He actually burned for game once. And his other effect is nutty too. So for those that don't know, Kentragina, Dino Waifu. She loses attack equal to my life points, but I get low really quick. And then she can pay half my life, banish any normal Dinomorphia trap card from my graveyard in order to copy its effect. Usually that just means I get an extra fusion off of Frenzy or Domain. But it also makes it where I get an extra revive off of the Dinomorphia alerts.
Okay.
Rexgerm, boss monster. As long as he's on board, my opponent cannot activate monster effects on field if their current attack is equal to or higher than my life points. Basically meaning the lower I get, the less they're doing.
Nice.
And then also because he's not strong enough with that effect, during any point in any player's turn quick effect, I can pay half my life points to make all my opponent's monsters attack equal to my current life points. So if I'm at 200 attack, your entire lineup of Snake Eye monsters just became 100.
It's crazy.
And then for Stealth Purge, my opponent activates a monster effect. I can burn them for that monster's attack. And as long as my life points are 2,000 or less, I no longer pay life points to activate Dinomorphia effects or any trap card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Jeez.
Basically, everything becomes free. And then the Dinomorphia do also share an additional effect. When they're destroyed, they float into a different Dinomorphia monster in the graveyard. So the fusions float into one that's a lower level than them. And then the 2 small ones just float into each other, but they do have to banish a trap to do that.
Okay.
The rest of my extra deck was kind of used for utility. I did play the Soul of the Supreme King, so I played the 1 copy of Zark, 1 copy of Arcray, Brave Eyes, and Crystal Clearwing. Supreme King Zark was what I was usually summoning off of the trap card. Arcray was kind of funny. He's always treated as Supreme King Zark, so when my opponent says, oh, if I activate a spell card, you get to banish your trap to special summon the other monsters from your extra deck. When they try to go a whole turn without playing spells, I'm like, all right, tribute the Zark, special the Arcray, go the whole duel without activating a spell card.
Oh, geez.
Because then he was properly summoned. He gets to stay. Trap card is always live because he's always Zark.
Wow.
And then as far as the 2 I go into off of the trap card, Brave Eyes Pendulum. His other 2 effects don't matter, but essentially, as long as he's on board, everything with 0 attack gets negated everywhere. Any activated effects are turned off, which a whole lot of hand traps have 0 attack.
Yeah, true.
And then it came up once, but if he declares an attack on a monster after the battle, if the monster is still on board, he banishes it.
Okay.
And then, of course, the Bay, the Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, had to make him Ghost Rare. Once per turn, when my opponent's monster activates an effect, I can gain that monster's attack, and I become unaffected by monster effects for the rest of the turn. And then also, I can negate a spell trap card or effect activation. So even if it's a field spell, continuous spell using the effect, I can negate and destroy it.
Nice.
That actually came up a lot. He stopped so many Triple Tactics talent from taking my Rexture.
Nice, okay.
And then I did play the 1 Dolka. I went back and forth between playing the Logia or the Dolka, but I decided that with the Solemn Judgment, Iron Thunders, 2 more monster negates in 1 turn was better than 1 Omni negate that turn.
Okay.
And then the last cards, it's gonna give away my side deck a bit, but
You don't have to give away side deck.
Naturia Exterio, Last Warrior from Another Planet, and Raid Raptor, Rising Rebellion, Falcon.
Okay.
Essentially the 3 best Waking the Dragon targets in the game. I also did Waking into Rexsturm once, I think.
Oh, wow.
But everyone knows what these do. No spells or traps in the game, unaffected and really big, and of course neither player can summon.
Crazy.
And then I will do my side deck. It's
Okay.
alright. Side deck, I played the 3rd copy of the Iron Thunder, Solemn Judgment, evenly matched.
Makes sense.
Of course, if I going game 2, game 3, if I knew I was going first, Iron Thunder Judgment went in and took out the other 2 evenlies. If I knew I was going second, evenly matched went in and I just kept these 2 out.
Okay.
Then everything else was essentially for stopping stuff. I got 3 deck lockdown. Pretty standard. Wins games.
You guys will watch on my match.
Dimensional Fissure.
Yep. He flipped both of these on me in 1 turn.
Yep, and I did go against at the regional Fire King Snake Eye player. Opened both of these going first. He was not a happy camper.
I bet.
Then I played, like I said, the 3 Waking the Dragons. I just felt like once my opponent sees me set 5, they're gonna want a Lightning Storm. They want a Harpy's Feather Duster. And I was really scared of the Runic matchup. So I put this in, that way if I go play against Runic, my turn is just set 1, pass. The only Runic card that can affect me at that point is Runic Destruction. And all they have to destroy is my Waking the Dragon. And then last 3 cards were Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster. I just wanted something again to deal with the back row decks, to deal with the Jalgan Moon Mirror Shield, to deal with the barrier of the Voiceless Voice. So I wanted to make sure I had some answers for that. And then one thing I will say, every card in my deck over the regional felt like it had purpose. I did activate every card, resolve every effect at least once or twice, with the exception of this card. This was the only card I did not use at all during the regional. It never came up. Lightning Storm was always enough, and yeah, in the future, honestly, if I were to drop it, I don't even know what I would drop it for. Just 1 slot in the side deck doesn't give me too much to go on.
True. Well, here's my question for you real quick. I know it's off the wall, but you're playing about 90% of cards that we don't see in the meta right now. Mm-hmm. Why does this deck get no love meta-wise?
So
what do you think?
I know I've asked a lot of people that question myself. Most of them give me the same answer.
Traps?
You pay half your life points way too much.
Okay.
I know between the Dinomorphia cards, the Soul of the Supreme King, Iron Thunder, Solemn Judgment, I think at the regional, the quickest my life went down was turn 1, or my opponent's turn 1. By their end phase, I was already down to about 500 life points. And to a lot of
I've watched
people,
you play matches where you're at less than a point, man. Like, I mean,
to a lot of people, that is walking the line pretty dangerously. At the regional, the lowest I got this time was 164 life points.
crazy.
But at the same time, when I couple that with Rexterm and Ferret Flames, that means that you get no monster effects and all your monsters are leaving. So to me, it's a high risk, high reward, but other people just see the risk. Obviously, I'm not winning any matches in time, so I gotta play pretty quickly in order to be able to get the win.
But you can with this deck. 'Cause
Oh yeah, you
you're playing
can.
traps.
The deck, like I said, cards like Ferret Flames, Evenly, Rexterm, they are devastating to some of the meta decks that have been around. I've been playing this deck for the past year and a half, or I think 2 years when Defo came out with the Rexterm. And honestly, it has not let me down since I picked it up.
I like it, man. All right, well, are you planning on playing it in Nets?
Yep, definitely. This might
Lord.
be the list might change a bit, but this is definitely the deck I'm taking to Nats.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Thank
I'm proud
you.
of you. Represent the team, and we'll see you guys in the next
Awesome.
one, all right? Take care.